Shaq is what? The 5th best center in the history of the NBA?
What?
What do you mean, what?
Who's the 4 ahead of Shaquille O'Neal? Have you lost your damn mind?
What? Kareem, Wilt Chamberlain, who averaged 50 points a game and scored
He was a footballer that 99% of the league? Yeah, most dominant player in NBA history. Who was stopping Shaquille O'Neal?
At any era. Tim Duncan is better than he is.
That's not a center. Tim Duncan.
Elijah 1 is better. We'll beat him 4-time
champion of Shaq's 4. No scoring titles to Shaq's 2. I love Hakeem, but he won Shaq.
Oh, he's a better player than Shaq.
Tell me what better player means to you, doggy. I'm waiting for the definition, please.
He's not better than Moses Malone.
What?
There's no chance. Don't give me that.
Oh, my Lord, why are you not talking basketball? Why? I love Moses Malone. Moses Malone was not Shaq.
Not a chance.
He was great, but he wasn't Shaq.
Help.
Put the ball into Shaq. He's going to the hole. Slam dunk.
Yo, what's good, people? We back. Had to come through because this clip is going viral, right? And I've been having this discussion. That's why 2K is so great, because you can simulate and find out this, you come to your own conclusion. But the 5 best centers of all times, where does Shaq stand on that list, right? And I can tell you from what I've seen, cause I can tell you, because for the longest, man, I hated Shaq. LA Lakers Shaq, I hated Shaq. I hated LA Lakers Shaq. I hated Miami Heat Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Phoenix Suns Shaq, you know what I'm saying, I think was slept on. But Orlando Shaq and Phoenix Suns Shaq was the Shaq that I championed. But LA Shaq, we gotta be honest. LA Shaq, those 3 rings, Shaq already told us. He said, he went into David Stern's office and said, if you don't start calling these fouls, because I don't care if I shoot 13%. I should be at the free throw line at least 40 times a game. He said, if you don't start calling these fouls, then if you don't call those fouls, then you can't call offensive 3 seconds in the paint. And once he said that, he put a stain on those championships, because I remember watching those games and I'm like, Shaq is just running. He didn't even run down all the way down the court. He just stayed under the basket. And it's like, when he runs down the court, all he does is just stand in the paint. So there's a stain on those 3 championships, which puts a stain on Kobe's legacy also, which we got to be honest about when you actually have seen it. But when it comes to the top 5 centers, I'll be honest, the only person that I seen do numbers on Shaq was Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was the only one I seen do it to Shaq. It just so happened that Shaq had that 3-second rule on his side, the referees on his side, and Kobe's advantage on his side. So Tim Duncan didn't win a lot against Shaq, but he did do numbers. And when we're talking about the top 5 centers, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take out Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell, because it's 2024. Rest in peace to both of them. But I'm going to take them out because, 2024. And, those games, like that play style is like, you know what I'm saying? The league at the time is like looked down upon, like the disparate, like the difference in competition that's in the league, so they don't put the weight on Bill and Wilt how they used to. But top 5 centers of all time, Shaq is definitely a top 5 center of all times. You can't say he's not. For how long he did it, winning the rings, for how long he did it, you know what I'm saying? So we gotta put this into perspective, because I started to appreciate Shaq way after his career is over. You know what I'm saying? Well, basically after when Giannis started doing his numbers, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, Giannis is cheating too. You know what I'm saying? But when you talk about Shaq, people just they give credit for not being stoppable. But when it comes to other centers in the game, every other center had to develop post moves. They had to develop a back to the basket game. They had to learn how to score from 16 feet, 15 feet on in. You know what I'm saying? They had signatures. With Shaq, his signature was the elbow to the face and dunking on you. You know what I'm saying? I remember the Zimbabwe chicken alert what he did with Dikembe Mutombo. It was like, yo, Dikembe's face was like vibrating. That's how his face used to be shaking after getting that elbow. But if you're putting them in order, right, it's hard. I can't put Shaq above Hakeem Olajuwon. Yes, Shaq got 4 rings. Hakeem got 2. Hakeem got his 2 when Jordan wasn't in the league, but Hakeem beat Shaq to get those rings. So I can't put him over Hakeem the Dream. I'm putting Shaq over Patrick Ewing and David Robinson, though. I'm putting, like, David Robinson. The only part, like, he's like the way Anthony Davis was in New Orleans. That's David. That's how David Robinson was. You know what I'm saying? He came in the league a little bit older though. You know what I'm saying? But Patrick Ewing had the city behind him. That's where a lot of the love came from. But Shaq. I'd rather have Shaq than Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing had moves though. Patrick Ewing could score from 15 foot out. Patrick Ewing had the bank shot. Patrick Ewing had the hook shot. Patrick Ewing had a variety of moves. You know, so that's what makes it questionable. But so I'm gonna put Hakeem as the only one over Shaq right now. Alonzo Mourning. Now Alonzo Mourning was the one who people sleep on because he wasn't 7 feet tall. He was like 6'9" and a half. He was 6'9" and in a high top fade made him 6'10". You know what I'm saying? So and then, but he was like, imagine if Draymond Green had serious game. Nah, Draymond like 6'6", but imagine that style of play. That's what Alonzo Mourning was. You know what I'm saying? Alonzo had skills. But just Shaq's, advantage size-wise, I'm going to go with Shaq over Alonzo Mourning. So the only person right now that I got over Shaq is Hakeem. If you talk about history, that includes current day, right? Because I could see Shaq just basically making it a Serbian chicken alert for Jokic. Like he would just bully, like he would just, like, you know what I'm saying, really, he would really, you know what I'm saying, like wear Jokic out. I got mad love for Jokic though. Jokic is like, to me, super skilled. But I would have to put Shaq over Jokic. When it comes to Joel Embiid, the only thing about like that's kind of equal to me. If you say Joel Embiid better than Shaq, matter of fact, the difference, I put Shaq is over Embiid because Shaq has done it for a longer time, and you know what I'm saying, he's more consistent so far than Joel Embiid. Over Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard, you know, it was so disrespectful to not put him on the top 75 list, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. You know what I'm saying? He suffered from the Shaq syndrome also because he didn't have any moves. He didn't have any moves. You know, DeMarcus Cousins, like Sacramento King DeMarcus Cousins, people sleep on. Sacramento King DeMarcus Cousins was a problem. You know, but he didn't do it long enough. So Shaq, like, you know, you can't compete with Shaq. Trying to think. So right now, I got Shaq at number 3 because there's 2 above him. If you say Tim Duncan is a sinner. Matter of fact, Tim Duncan is a it depends. He was a power forward up until David Robinson retired. No, because he retired. More like he was a Matter of fact, I'm gonna say Tim Duncan was a center, and I'm gonna put Tim Duncan over Shaq. 5 rings plus his career. I'm putting Tim Duncan over Shaq, and I'm putting Hakeem over Shaq. Going back in history, Moses Malone. I'm not going to put Moses Malone over Shaq. Shaq would beast on Moses Malone because Moses Malone beasted on a lot of people too, so they would go at it and Shaq would win. Kareem. How can I forget Kareem? Man. So Shaq is at number 4 now because I got to put Kareem over Shaq. Kareem, Tim Duncan, Hakeem, then Shaq. And is there another one? I don't think there's another one. I don't think there is anybody else that can be mentioned as far as, Shaq, like the top centers in the game. Shaq being a number 4 center and having those people above him is not a diss at all. That is like, that's somebody that's seen it and put it into perspective. That's a lot of these people that's on TV and everything, like, he's the most dominant of all times. Oh my God, I've never seen nothing like that. A lot of those are just Johnson riders. You get what I'm saying? Because it's not about being dominant in somebody and you can't hold somebody in a post or something like that. Like, that's not what it's about. It's about the game. It's about the game. So I'm gonna leave it right there. Shaq, the number 4 center of all time, number 4. And saying that is not a diss. Tim Duncan, Hakeem, and Kareem, then Shaq. Or Kareem, Hakeem, then Tim Duncan, then Shaq. However you want to put it. That got to be the order. That got to be the order, man. But I'm gonna go and get out of here. On this one right here, I'm gonna go and get out of here. Salute, we out.